We are at Left Coast Crime with Simon Wood. Tell us about your books.
I tend to write normally standalone thrillers that involve ordinary people who dig themselves into a bad situation with either a bad decision or some bad luck that actually sends them down a rabbit hole that they're going to spend 300 pages trying to get out of. But one thing that I have done recently is I have a new series. It's the first time I've written a series, and it's the A.D. Westlake series, and it's set in the world of motor racing.
Oh, fun!
It's something I used to do a long, long time ago, and I'm trying to hope to do what Dick Francis did to horse racing. He tried to show you what it's really like behind the closed doors of the sport, and I'm trying to do the similar sort of thing with the world of motorsport and showing you that dark side of a high pressure, highly expensive sport where literally anybody would do anything to win.
Any particular kind of cars?
I raced open wheel, like the things down a few levels below IndyCar.
Okay,
so
my husband loves Formula One. So.
Yeah, so what it is a journey series for the main character. We start with him very young, he's 20 in the first book, and we're following him through his career, and eventually he's going to reach Formula One, because it's a nice thing. I made it a multi-generational thing that he's an orphan. His father made it to Formula One but died before he ever raced. So there's that sort of thing. So he's living in the shadow of his very famous, very accomplished dad. But he's raised, and his confidant is his grandfather, who was a Grand Prix mechanic in the 60s and 70s. So there's that nice sort of like past, present. So I bring in a little bit of history in the sport, and I bring in some of the things that I witnessed and sort of became party to in the sport when I drove. So he'll change, he'll like visit famous races or take part in famous races around the world as he tries to reach the pinnacle of Formula One. So I think it's going to be about a 7 or 8 book arc for him.
Sounds good.
So he'll get there one day.
So what kind of racing did you do specifically?
I did Formula Ford. I did the sort of like single-seater things where I was trying to make my way to Formula One. I unfortunately realised that I was never going to be that good. I did race with some of the. I did race with some of the guys who made it to the top layers of IndyCar sports prototypes and F1. But they weren't like me. They weren't an ordinary person. They had a instinct that I think is 1 in a million. And those guys that reach the top, they are a breed apart. So it's a little bit, for me, it's a little bit living vicariously. And hopefully if they're nice enough, I'll get an invitation.
There you go, that could be fun. Well, you found your thing in writing, so maybe some of them wish they were writing.
Yeah, I know, if they need me to ghost for them, I'm willing to do it.
There you go.
Yeah, it's interesting where I've never really had a really good career path. I've like gone all over the place with one thing or another, and but you know, I don't see much difference between motor racing and writing. It's a dog-eat-dog
this is true.
industry, whether you like it or not, and you see some you have a fun life trying to survive in both.
True. And your website?
My website is it's very simple. It's just simonwood.net, and you'll find all the history, and there's links to everything, and all my little blog. I blog about life in the US, what it is being a foreigner in the US.
How long have you been in the US?
This is actually my American hometown. Sacramento is where I landed 14 years ago. So yeah, it's taken a little bit of an adjustment to get to it.
Yeah.
Supposedly we speak the same language and
but
things,
not quite.
But I'm still a little bit of a tourist.
And what is one thing that your fans would be surprised to learn about you?
I don't have a criminal record yet.
That's a surprise.
Yeah, they pretty much read. The thing that's interesting, everybody reads the books, and usually have these ordinary people who do some very nasty little stunts or cross the line from time to time, and everybody believes I've done them. Like someone will write to me, so how do I break into a BMW?
Oh my goodness.
You know, it's like, So how would I get past security at an airport? And there's this sort of belief that I must have done it. Even down to someone writing to my wife and saying he's cheated on you because they read about a cheating husband, and it was like,
wow.
And they sent her a note saying Simon's been cheated on. Read this.
How awful.
And so it's weird things like that. But I'm a very good, nice person. Seriously.
Okay, that's good
promise.
to know. All right. Well, thank you so much for talking with us.
No problem. Thank you.